3, 2, 1. What's going on, guys? It's Simo, and we're here at UDS Las Vegas Invitational 2019 with...
My name's Abraham King.
And what did you play?
I played NEKROZ.
So what did you end up with overall?
I ended X3-1, finished 19th place, just bubbled out.
Barely out. Okay, so why of all things did you decide to play NEKROZ?
So I expected there to be like mainly Salamangreat, and then Striker's good against Salamangreat, so I expected there to be a lot of Striker, and then less combo decks. And so this deck like one-shot Salamangreats. I dropped a single game to Salamangreats all day long, and I never matched a match.
How many did you play?
How many Salamangreats did you play?
Like
Out of 14
5?
rounds? Wow, that's a lot.
6?
And how many striker did you play?
2 Striker.
Okay.
It was like 2 Striker and then 2 Thunder, and then I played Sam's.
Zombie, crazy deck.
Oh no, that was Jessica Cotton's zombie deck, and then Draco.
Oh, you played. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then the rest of it was Salamangreat.
All right. Well,
What did you lose to?
I lost to the zombie deck, a Thunder deck, Danger Thunder, and the Striker. Did I already say Striker?
Yeah.
it was Striker.
all right, cool.
Striker zombie.
Let's go and see what you got.
All right, so 3 NEKROZ of Valkyris. This card lets you tribute up to 2 cards to draw 2 cards while it's on the field, from the hand or field. So this is like what lets you dig through your deck for cards. And in your hand, it's a Battle Fader. Discard it, banish the NEKROZ card from the graveyard to negate an attack and end the battle phase.
So good.
Yeah, I didn't lose a single game in time. Big boy thanks to this card. Then 3 NEKROZ of Brio, back to 3. This card searches any card in your deck. It searches a monster, and there's a monster that searches a spell, so it pretty much searches any NEKROZ card in your deck. And then on the field, you can target up to 2 monsters that were special summoned from the extra deck, and then spin them back. Nobody knew that. Even like players that knew what NEKROZ did, because you never summon this card.
Well, it's crazy too because like, you get to play this deck and not have to play NEKROZ mirrors, so you don't have to like clear your board.
Yeah.
And that must be so weird, especially if you played this deck a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a weird thought to like just leave monsters on the field.
Right. Exactly.
Then 2 Trishula. Like this is a card everybody knows about. You know, when you summon it, it's Trishula, banish card from the hand, field, and graveyard. In the hand, it negates an effect that targets a NEKROZ monster, so it's really good in the Striker matchups. And then like any other time, because like Impermanence is like played in every single deck, and then Effect Veiler is really popular too. So you just like search a Trish and then summon a Trish with a Trish in the hand and just protect it. Then you got Colossus. This searches ritual spells by discarding it, and then or spell and trap cards because there's NEKROZ trap cards obviously. And then on the field, you can target a monster that's summoned from the extra deck, negate its effects, and make its attack defense 0. So I killed a Colossuses with this card. That was pretty much its main purpose. NEKROZ Gungnir really underperformed today, but in the hand you discard it and target a NEKROZ monster, and it can be destroyed by battle by card effect. And so the idea behind that was I could summon the big boy, the best card, into like Salamangreat Rage, and then I could just protect it if they try to rage it away. And on the field, you can discard a card from hand to pop discard a NEKROZ card from hand to pop a card on the field during either player's turn. So then this is the reason that like all Salamangreat players like lose. It's a skill drain for the extra deck. Any monster for the extra deck has its effects negated. And like the only way for Salamangreat to out this is to make a Balinx and make Mirage Stalio, and then link both of those cards into Sunlight Wolf, and then try to bounce this and hope I don't have like Trish in the hand or some other way to stop them from doing that, because otherwise just waste a whole bunch of resources for absolutely nothing. And the times that they did, they still wasted all the resources just to get out this one card, and then they just lose after that anyways. So this and the combo decks, you just want to go first and then summon this card, because nothing the combo decks do is relevant if they don't have extra monster effects. And then those are all the NEKROZ rituals, and then I play Dance Princess and Shurret. So this counts as the whole tribute for the summon of a NEKROZ monster, and it searches a warrior. Brio's a warrior, so pretty much it searches any card in your deck. And then this is less common, so while it's on the field, you can't activate cards in response to the activation of NEKROZ ritual spell cards, and if it's tributed, you can add and you can't target NEKROZ ritual monster card effects. So you one-shot Striker with it. And then when it's tributed, you can add a banished NEKROZ card to your hand. So if you banish cards with the mirrors, you can add the monsters back to your hand, or the spells, I guess, if you really want to. But you're usually adding this back after you banish it from the graveyard. Then 3 Manju. it searches your like any card in your deck. So like you gotta let it play. I cited it out every single game too though because I was putting in like Denkos and I didn't want to clog my deck up with like 9 normal summons because this was the other one.
There we go.
There were like the first few rounds people just didn't scoop on a tribute summon it, but after like day 2 and the last round of day 1, every single Salmon Great player just scooped the instant tribute summon this card. That's how I knew they're playing Salmon Great. But when you tribute summon it, you can target a monster in the field, blow it up. If it's a light, you send. If the monster you blew up was a light, you send monsters from each player's extra to the graveyard equal to its level. And if you tribute summoned using a light monster, then you get to choose what cards your opponent sends to the graveyard. So yeah, usually you just target yourself. So you send 8 cards from each player's extra to the graveyard, and you add 5 cards to your hand with it. So it's kind of disgusting. Then I played 2 of all the Incantations. People last minute did try to convince me not to play these. I don't know why. But like, you reveal either a monster or ritual spell depending on which one it is, and then you summon it and another one from the deck. And the ones that are summoned from the deck search. Well, like these ones search. This one searches monsters. This one searches ritual spells. And these ones add to grave monsters and ritual spells. So you gotta like your early game is like you use these to like search all your cards out, and then you use these to add them all back to your hands. And then the King Incantation.
Yeah.
You only play 1 because it's never gonna go to the graveyard. So, and if it ever does, you can just add it back to your hand with this card. But you reveal it, discard any incantation. Discard any card from your hand, summon any incantation for the deck. So this does everything. It adds from grave and it adds from deck. So definitely the best card, but you still only need 1 copy of it. Then spells. I didn't play any hand traps. You don't need to play them. 2 mirror, 2 kaleidoscope, 2 cycle. So they're all like regular ritual spells, but they have a gimmick. Like this one can ritual summon monsters from the graveyard. This one banishes the requirements from the graveyard that are NEKROZ cards. And then this one sends 1 monster from the extra deck to the graveyard to summon any number of NEKROZ ritual monsters. So like if I send like Quasar, I can summon like a level 4 and a level 8 because Quasar's a 12 level. They also all, while they're in the graveyard and I control the monsters, I can manage them and another NEKROZ ritual card to search my deck for a NEKROZ ritual spell card. So like if my opponent ever got over my field, I almost always gonna have this in my hand. So I just like search like one of these and then use this to grab the level 6, to grab the Brio, to grab the Shuret, and then ritual summon anything I want from the graveyard. Or from my other. Then 3 Pot of Extravagance.
We're always drawing 2.
Yeah, always drawing 2. It kind of conflicts with like you can't draw after you use it, so you can't use Valk after you use it, and like you banish 6 cards from your extra deck, so you're not always going to resolve Zaborg the way you want it to, but it's still so worth it.
Yeah.
You don't like need the cards there, and the important part of Zaborg is hitting your opponent's extra deck anyways. 3, this should never come back under any circumstance. Search your deck for a level 7 or lower ritual monster, which is Chalice-On, and then add a ritual spell from your graveyard to your hand too, because this deck is just like pure pluses. It's ridiculous. And then Rhoda, because Shuri's a warrior and Colossus is a warrior, so search a ritual spell or search the thing that summons anything. Then for the last is the spicy May that nobody else is playing yet, is 3 Renewal of the World.
Oh, there we go.
So this it's kind of complicated to read, but basically you activate it, and on activation you banish any ritual monster from your deck. Then you can either send this to the graveyard to add it to the hand, or send it to the graveyard, then tribute a monster from your hand or field, or shuffle from your graveyard into the deck a ritual monster whose level is equal to or less than blah blah blah, and then ritual summon that card. So it's just
You ritual summon on their turn, essentially.
Essentially.
Yeah.
So it was really important for like brick hands, but you draw this card, you send any like NEKROZ to the graveyard, and then you summon Unicorn from the deck, and then you like Salmon Great suddenly loses, and then Trishula was the main thing. Like you search Shuret because you can't summon Trishula, or you can't summon Trishula with a level 9 monster. So you search Shuret, and then you tribute Shuret with this card, and then you Trishula. They're on their turn.
That's pretty nice. Spicy, I like that.
Yeah. So that's the main deck, and then we gotta have those League of Legends tokens. And then our Raised Bay tokens from when those were the days. But now blue is Bay. So we got our Kaleidoscope targets. These are always count as 12. That's it. I don't know. People always ask me why. But then Brio, because you can summon Brio with a level 6. So you just summon this to spin 2 cards back to the extra deck. It was really important for Thunder Dragon matchups. Like the only game I won against the Thunder Dragons when I went second was I opened Kaleidoscope and Brio, so I just summoned it, and then they had like 2 Colossus and like a negate. Yeah. So it was a Hari Dragon Machine Abyss. So I just summoned Denko. I summoned Dance Princess and then Brio, and that was it. Then the Zaborg targets, the Heralds, Omega, Elder Entity Ents, and then Toads. So this is how you're adding 5 cards to your hand. These add waters, and all the NEKROZ cards are waters. And then this searches 3 cards from your deck to your hand. So that's kind of good. This came up so much. You put any monster in your graveyard back in your deck, which is really important considering like you want your Incantations in the deck, and then after you send all these to the graveyard with Zaborg, you can just put one of these back and then use Kaleidoscope to summon Unicorn and send that again and get another search.
Yeah.
And then I chose to go first every single game, which is why I was playing Renewal of the World. Like the theory behind all this was that going second with NEKROZ is the best way to play the deck, because you start with 6 cards, your opponent has a field, so you can trust them on your first turn. So you always want to do that. Plus, you can abuse Ents to pop their cards. But in this meta, Zaborg is so strong, and Renewal of the World is a card it'd be really stupid to not just go first every single game. And so because of that, I only played 1 because it was almost never going to go up, but it was still like going to be really important to pop like floodgates and stuff with Kaleidoscope, sending this to summon the Unicorn, and with Zaborg just pop another card. Then Dweller, because I played Manju, so you can play like rank 4s. Yeah, except on 1 person. Yeah, I beat 3 people with this card.
Oh, jeez.
There was actually 3 on this one too. It was somebody was like, a friend of mine was like, "You're like nobody's gonna know what your cards do. They're gonna have to like read them, and you're gonna go to time all the time." And I was like, "You're right." So I put this card in, and that's what happened. Either like Salamangreat would like try to like grind through not having any extra deck cards, and then like game 1 would still take like 10 minutes, and then like if we went to game 3, I just like put this on the field in time, and then they lose.
Yeah.
And then the very last spicy Mei was this. So it has 3 different effects depending on how many ritual monsters you use to summon it. You have to use at least 1. Pretty much if you use all 3, then it can't be targeted by card effects, it can't be destroyed by card effects, it can't be destroyed by battle, and it becomes a 48.
Bro.
So like Striker, you summon this and then they lose because they can't out it except for Borload, but you can just Valk that. And then game 2 against Salamangreats, because if you summon it game 1, they'll just fuse you to fire it away.
Yeah.
And it's a fire on top of that. But game 2, they take that card out because they're like, you're absolutely not playing Link. So this card, I actually never summoned it. It came in collection testing. Then the side, whoops, I guess it's 3 Phantasme. One of them's going to a friend, so it's in my binder right now. Yeah, obviously this card puts in work. It fixes your hand. When I was playing this build to go second, it was this instead of Renewal of the Worlds, and Renewal of the Worlds was on the side. Denko Sekka, which, yeah, this won me games all day, left and right. Like, 1 card, 2 cards, it doesn't matter. You summon this card, it's over, except for, like, 1 guy who I summoned Denko, and I couldn't kill him. And then he killed me. He anchored away my entire field. It was disgusting. Sphere modes that I never dropped, but definitely still necessary. This was pretty like obviously like I don't need to explain anything about it, but it it never came up. I drew it like a couple times, and it was always better to do something else, or like it didn't actually like help me extend or take away their cards. So
or you killed them.
Or I just killed them anyways, yeah. So like this is probably gonna come out for like Twin Twisters or some other form of back row destruction, because I just wish I had more of that. And then Secret Village of Spellcasters, which I put in over the Majesty's Fiends. So the idea between like the Ben 10 Christia or Ben 10 Vanity's Majesty's Fiends or Vanity's Ruler, yeah. Sorry, is that you go first against combo decks, and then you tribute some of that, and then they lose. But it's not as great against other decks because they can like they'll probably be able to find some way to like grind through it, and then get to a card they can use to stop it.
Yeah.
But like, if you're going first against combo decks, you can just summon Unicorn and add Gungnir into your hand, and that's the same thing. The only combo deck that can get over Unicorn anyways without attacking it is Thunder Dragon, because they can search Levianeer or draw Levianeer. But then again, Gungnir can just protect it from that, and then at that point they're just dead next turn. So Striker was like actually a really difficult matchup for this deck, and you just summon this in Unicorn, and they can't use extra monsters and they can't use spells, so that like that's literally their entire deck. They're just out.
Yeah, super locked down.
Yeah.
Well, now we can see why you did so well. It's awesome. Any final shoutouts real quick?
Yeah. So Aaron Hills, the Yu-Gi-Oh outlet. Thank you so much. Everybody who lent me cards. I legitimately didn't use any of them. I was like impermanences, bells, evenly, stuff like that. I didn't play any of them. But thank you very much. Kevin Tran, he went X4 today, but like he's gonna win the next event for sure. And Team K Tran man, all the way. And Tristan Bridges also. Helped me recognize a lot of theories and a lot of issues that I was having with my gameplay, like as a whole, regardless of what deck I was playing with. Like I can't thank that guy enough.
Yeah, that's our man right there.
All right, man. Well, thank you so much for letting us see this. It was really cool. Congrats again.
Thanks.